The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. Hey, can you hit the subscribe button? It really helps me out. Thank you so much. I moved my living room furniture around last night, and to be honest, I was really trying to leave it in its position. But something happened. There was a pretty strong storm and water was leaking in through an old flue. And while I don't have a wood stove right now, there used to be one there, and when the wind blows extremely hard, water will come dripping down the flue. When I woke up, the water was dripping on my sofa. This is the second time that this has happened in 18 months. And I decided that I was done, that this wasn't going to happen again. I wasn't going to have water drip on a fabric sofa. Last night, I just decided that I'm going to move everything around, that there has to be a different setup. I've talked about this before, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Moving furniture around has been a hot topic for me in my life. And when I was married, I would feel this internal need to rearrange the furniture. And it was a whole process, and I could feel the shifts in my energy. I could feel the shift in my mood. It was very pleasing and very satisfying for me to change up the energy of the room. I always felt like it was a good thing. Like, isn't it a good thing to open myself up to see things in a new perspective? Like, isn't that a good thing? And well, to be truthful, not everybody sees that in the same way. That there are people who don't want change, who want everything to stay in its place. The furniture in my parents' house has never changed, and both of them are okay with that. And when I was married to someone who didn't like me to move the furniture and always saw it as a negative thing. Why aren't you happy? Why can't we just keep things the same? Why do we have to just go through this process all of the time? And there was this period of time where I started to question that feeling inside of me. I started to question, why do I want to change things? Maybe I'm not happy. Like, this person is telling me that I'm not happy, and if I was happy, then maybe I would just leave the furniture arranged in the same ways. Somebody questioning my process brought up a lot of self-doubt. It made me question who I was. It made me question what I needed. Fast forward 15 years, and I had a consultation with a really good astrologer, and she made a joke about, you're always going to be someone who wants to move the furniture around. I didn't prompt her on this topic. I didn't prompt this response from her. And this light bulb went off in me. She just matter of fact said, yes, this is part of your creative process. And if you didn't want to move furniture around, then I would question what was happening in you or with you. It was an extremely validating point in my life. It is one of the most valuable lessons that I have learned. When we are around people who have a different process, a different foundation, or a different way of doing things, and they question you, then you can begin to doubt yourself. You begin to doubt that innate knowing inside of you. The truth is, we're all very unique. We all have different ways of walking through the world. We process emotions differently. We communicate differently. We have different ways of living. And it's not a problem until we have people who think that their way of living is the only correct way of living. It's simply not true. Just because I'm surrounded by people who don't understand why I move furniture around doesn't mean I should change my process. But I know it is difficult when we are in relationships with people and we're trying to make things work and we're trying to create a stable, cohesive partnership. But when I look back, I realize I was partnered with a person who couldn't embrace my unique qualities. I was with somebody who wanted me to be like them instead of me being my authentic self. I reached this point where I was starting to question, maybe I don't know what I need. Maybe I don't know what is best for me. When the reality was, I was with somebody who wanted several different things. I think he wanted to be right. I think he wanted to control me. I don't think that he could embrace my adventurous, seeking spirit. And me being in that relationship meant that I would have to stop being me. That all of these unique qualities I was trying to turn off and shut down and change, when in reality I needed to be with somebody who was more like me, a more free spirit and open and could change their mind, could change directions, could embrace something new. And there's still times where I do try to resist my need to rearrange the room. It's a lot of work. Everybody's stressed out. The animals were stressed out last night. They had no idea. They were pacing the floor. My dog's tail was hanging down. He was upset and didn't know what was happening or why things were being changed. And it's very stressful to everyone else. I've resisted it because I felt like I had arranged the room in this most optimal energetic flow. And last night, I realized that this is a better setup. This feels more open. Moving furniture around creates this expansiveness in me. That my energy is flowing with the space that I'm in. Yes, I may have arranged the room in the most optimal energetic flow to begin with, but things have changed. I have changed. The energy has changed. The energy in me has changed. The energy in the world has changed. My needs have changed. Like, I am not staying this one version of me. I can embrace that. I can embrace that I may see a better way of doing things now. My needs have changed, and that is okay. I certainly don't expect everybody to understand my process. I have an aunt at the age of 85 who still wants to move her furniture around. And I have a cousin who doesn't understand it and doesn't think that she needs to do it because of her age and the possibility of injuring herself. And he's a very fixed energy. He doesn't change his method and process quickly. He makes comments because he just doesn't understand why she is doing it and what her need is. And I don't say much to him because he doesn't he doesn't embrace astrology. He's not going to understand when I talk about, well, she's probably got Mars in her fourth house and she has this need to change and sever and cut and move things around. And she really embraces this process of changing her physical environment. And it's not a bad thing. It's just her process. It's just the one thing that she does. Because I do it. I understand this need that she feels inside of her, that I've got to switch this up. Last night when I sat in my new room and how it was arranged, there was just this overwhelming sense of calm and peace and this just large exhale, like I could not have even imagined, and the feeling of peace and grounded and home. I sat there last night and I just looked around and I was amazed at how different I felt. I feel the shift in my body. I feel the expansiveness, the openness. Changing the room, there's this symbiotic relationship that I have within me, that somehow me changing the room is also changing parts of me that I'm willing to let go of, that I'm willing to set down, and I open myself up to new possibilities. And when I do move the rooms around, I typically will reflect on my marriage and how grateful I am to no longer doubt my own process. When we are paired with people who are not a good match, we question our innate qualities. We doubt our process. We doubt our communication. We try to disconnect from these unique parts of us. And I sat there last night and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to no longer to have to explain to somebody or try to explain to somebody that this is actually a good thing, that this is here, and see how the energy flows different. And someone who questions those parts of me, that's a flag. Those are flags that I didn't know were flags. Moving the furniture is not a problem. It's part of my process. And that's what happens when we're with the wrong person. We think it's a problem, but it's really just your process. I'm not a problem to be fixed. I am a process. I am a work in process. I was never broken. I was just with people who didn't understand my process. And now I can move the living room around anytime I feel the need. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.